Ode to War. I know of a war that soldiers are willing to fight, unarmed, not warned, unprepared, untaught, with poor aim. They maim and kill those who should be the opposition, in a position to effect all change. The small change you make, small relative to what you sold your soul. So you could sit at master's table at the feast to eat, but you really sit at master's feet in defeat. Beside dogs you reap the crumbs, then retreat as though you were full. But really your belly is still empty, and hunger is all you know. And for your soldier status you've really got nothing to show. Your belly is lined with signs and borders for territory, and they decide before your eyes what good you are to them until your last ever trip to a cemetery. But before then, before either heaven or hell awaits, in places the fight you walked into, for which your parents said you should be grateful, and handed you down blood-stained, bullet-holed scrubs to perform a surgery on yourself that was to bear witness to the end of your service on this earth's surface, and that includes your progeny too. So for that, I could never marry a soldier like you. Ode to War. I love and respect you. Your future is bright, so you can lay there uncontrite, silent. Your war is neither bloody nor violent. You send my regiment to kill themselves and imprison them, so in their prison cells they dance, unburdened by their fellow troop friends' bloody wells, drowning them in their existence, blood up to their ankles and climbing. It's getting uncomfortable in this climate, and war regulates the numbers so readily it's almost prophetic. Am I the only one who sees that this is so blatantly eugenic? But I'm unimportant, because what I know is not what they taught us. I overstand. I'm not the man, and though I think it in polite company, always try to avoid referring to things like the system. I'm the opposition, the other, and though you might want me to and may wonder, I don't even want to mention anything about colour, because this is an ode to this war and all the ways it's robbed me of my race, but let me know about my shade without getting its own hands dirty and making my own unprefer me and call me names when I complain. For truth, I've been labelled and I've been blamed for something I couldn't even pretend to claim. An ode to war because no one can even see the fighting, so what am I fighting for? Mingling in certain circles means jumping over 10-foot societal hurdles, and when it's done, I hurtle out the door, breathing the deepest sigh of relief, then the realisation that I've almost left behind my sheath, lest I injure you with the truth and infect my own with the disease and cause my parents to feel displeased. I wish I were this war, quietly devastating without even carrying weapons for war, silently divisive, moving with the rights had to hand down instruction as to who should be against and who should stand for justice. It doesn't even have to justify its stance. If only given half the chance, war, I too would move like a surreptitious snake, battling on my belly, venoming anything in my wake while my opposition sleeps. No fear of even a peep, because there's nothing to save. Harriet Tubman freed and could have freed 1,000 more if only they had known that they were slaves. That is a crying shame. I regret that my lyrical is so overwhelmingly political, but this is literal. It is immediate, and resting on the fact that someone else will clean up your mess is unforgivable. The fact that no one gets it is no reason to grumble alone and be so uninvested. This is an ode to war. There are no spoils of this war. Even the opposition is willing to forfeit a few for this war. Yes, they will call you crazy and ask what you're fighting for, but this is war. Hidden and silent, no direct casualties, only victim on victim violence. You cannot oppose this war in private. Yes, I admire it, because it does exactly what we are afraid and unable to do. Leave so much in its wake, but no one can see where it ends or how it starts. It is, however, the sum of all of its seemingly broken and scattered parts, and therefore greater, much greater than me, far greater than you, woven into every dark, ugly, rotten orifice of society's highest offices, as sure as our destruction and the certainty of our ending being in a coffin is. Voluntary conscription should not be the prescription. How can the war be so much more terrifying than the opposing side? I'm only just addressing the opposition, and this is after how many lines? If the warfare were between me and you, this would have been your ode. But I'm confined to find the very thing that I've been taught to hide behind as repetitiously as writing lines, so it can bury itself inside our minds to remind our kind. The romanticized diasporic experience is but a state of mind. The state is unkind. I would have that last stanza underlined to avoid confusion about the mission. It's not necessarily all about or directly concerning the opposition, and it is that default position versus the torn, bleeding anus of submission that cannot be forgiven and that I deplore. It was, however, the overarching, tormenting reason behind this ode to war.